In this video, we learn how to master Voiceflow, and here we learn by doing. We start with building some of the basic customer service chatbots, and we work our way up by building an advanced e-commerce chatbot and then a complete AI concierge system for hotels. And these are not just chatbots. We will learn some of the most requested integrations like Calendly, AirTable, Zendesk, Google Maps, and we deploy each of these chatbots to Webflow, Shopify Store, and WhatsApp. We will discuss Voiceflow Functions, API calls, and everything in between. You might be asking why Voiceflow and why me. If you look at why Voiceflow here, Voiceflow is for teams building more than a basic chatbot. If you read their updated website here, build advanced automations, no code that scales, customize everything, collaborate at scale, build faster, automate more with less cost at scale. I won't be reading everything, but you get the idea. Trilogy automates 60% of their L1 and L2 support tickets. These are some of the amazing case studies here. Rome Auto saves 30 hours per week with Voiceflow. JP Morgan Chase cut time to market from 8 weeks to 2 weeks. Voiceflow reduced ticket costs from $31 to $2. That is amazing. If you got time, I strongly recommend that you read their entire website. There are a lot of case studies, lot of great reviews, enterprises, the teams that are using Voiceflow today. I have built and sold over 40 AI agents in the past 8 months, and those are worth over tens of thousands of dollars. I have used Voiceflow for 90% of these projects. And why are businesses willing to pay thousands of dollars for these AI assistants? Look at this article. Klarna's AI assistant is doing the job of 700 workers. And if you read a bit more further, the integration is expected to increase profits by $40 million in 2024. And not just profits, if you look at the efficiency, has resulted in fewer errors, a 25% decrease in repeat inquiries, and reduced average conversation times from 11 to 2 minutes. That's a lot. Imagine how much they would pay someone to make that 40 million profit. Even 1% is a lot. You might be saying it's some Fortune 500 company. How would that relate to me? If you look at this article that came out less than a week ago with the latest data, it clearly shows only 35% of the companies use AI as of 2023, and 99% of the Fortune 500 companies use AI, and majority of these companies use AI for customer service. If you look at the main points here, 42% of the companies globally are exploring AI and will soon implement it. That is the opportunity here. That 42 to 65% of the companies who are actively looking, unless that business owner is living under a rock, they know they have to implement some kind of AI to stay in this game. AI is here to stay. So it's up to agencies, people like us, to come in and fill that need. You might not save $40 million like Klarna did. Let's say you helped a business replace 2/3 of the customer service team. A small business had 10 customer service representatives. Let's say your AI agent managed to replace 2/3 here, and that would mean increase in profits. Average customer service rep makes $40,000 US. But let's imagine they are outsourcing it and it's only $10,000. That it's still 6 customer service reps is close to $60,000 that you're saving. And businesses are happy to pay $10,000 a year for making this AI agent if they see that kind of result. Building these AI chatbots is definitely a high income skill that you can have in 2024. Voiceflow is one of the best platforms out there to do that. Hey, my name is Mani and I have my own AI agency, Grey Matter AI. that have been running for the past 8 months. And in this video, we are going to learn about Voiceflow. We will start from the basics, why and when we should use Voiceflow, and starting from the key concepts, which LLMs are available, the knowledge base, the tokens, all of that stuff. And we cover a beginner tutorial, which is a customer service chatbot for my AI agency, and we will actually deploy it onto the website. It's on Webflow. And next, we will explore an advanced tutorial with an e-commerce chatbot, which has Airtable integration, Zendesk integration, Google Sheets, and we will explore other resources, other free resources that we can learn more about Voiceflow. Let's start with why we should use Voiceflow. If you look at their website, they say Voiceflow helps conversational AI teams build and launch incredible AI agents for any use case faster. That is absolutely true. If you look at how smooth the interface is, how easy it is to navigate, everything is just drag and drop. And if you look at the teams that are using Voiceflow, McDonald's, Amazon, PayPal, BMW, Google, Home Depot, JP Morgan, these are some of the best brands on the planet today, and they are using Voiceflow. And it's so easy to build and scale. And we will learn that in this video today. People like Liam Otley are building AI education platform, an entire SaaS, his AI Liam on Voiceflow. So you can, that's $100,000 per month AI SaaS on Voiceflow. And it's easy to use, great support. They have excellent Discord community. Every question will be answered. The team is super responsive. Everyone is super helpful. You can check their docs, templates, and they have a lot of tutorial videos on YouTube as well. Next, coming to the key concepts. First, we have LLMs. If you are here, you know what large language models are. They are AI programs that can generate text, summarize, analyze. There are so many tasks that they can perform. They are trained on this huge amounts of data. If you want to learn more about what large language models are and what they do, you can always watch. There are a lot of YouTube videos covering that. I won't be going in there. The reason I mentioned LLMs here is to show you which LLMs Voiceflow offers. This is basically Learn Voiceflow chatbot that you would see once you log in, once you sign up for the Voiceflow account. Let me show you which AI models that they have. GPT 3.5 Turbo, 4 Turbo, 4, Claude Instant 1.2, Claude 1 and 2. And these are the large language models that are available right now. They will be adding more. Second, we have knowledge base. This is what differentiates our custom chatbot from ChatGPT. Models like ChatGPT has been trained on lots of data, but it's not custom. It doesn't know who you are, what your business is. But once you use these custom knowledge chatbots, we are basically training the chatbot on our data. So for data sources, you can add plain text, you can upload files in formats like PDF, text, docs. The maximum file size is 10 MB. The URLs, sitemap, whole sitemap, and for integrations, we have Zendesk Help Center for now. I'm assuming they will be doing more, adding more. For data source, don't get me wrong when I say max file size is 10 MB. The number of files that you can add, these 10 MB files, will go up based on the plan that you have. For example, 50 data sources on a free plan, 200 data sources on professional plan, and 2000 on Teams plan. Amount of data that you can add to your knowledge base is still a lot. And finally, we have token usage. Earlier, when I showed you what LLMs Voiceflow has, you can see 0.6 tokens, 12 tokens, 25 tokens. This is based on how much these LLMs usually charge. So if you want to know how these tokens will be charged. I will provide this link in the description down below to learn more about the tokens. You will get about 100,000 tokens on the free plan and around 2 million tokens for professional plan. If you need more tokens than 2 million, you can always buy million tokens for $5. And if we look at the pricing, we have a professional plan for $50 per month, and you can see up to 20 agents, 200 knowledge base sources, and 2 million monthly AI tokens. And Teams plan is 20 workspaces, unlimited agents, and 5,000 knowledge base sources, and up to 10 million monthly AI tokens. You will get a free trial of 14 days for the professional plan. If you would like to sign up for 10 Teams plan, you can always contact them. Next, let's discuss the usage. For every message, I was being charged around 500 to 1500 tokens, and it was mainly based on the number of chunks. These are the inputs, and outputs is the max token settings. If you look at the model itself, the max tokens that you see here is max tokens that they have is 2000. You can set anywhere from 10 to 2000. You'll be charged based on that. That is on the output side of things. For input, you see how it has these chunks, chunk limit 1, 2, 3, 4. The quality of your answers will go up based on the number of chunks that you use. It's basically context. If you raise the chunk limit, your accuracy will improve, but it will require more tokens. Output can be adjusted based on max tokens, and it should be whether you're generating a short tweet as less than 160 characters or you're generating a blog article. So based on that, you need to adjust max tokens, and it differs for your use case. And this is the system prompt. We will see more about this in our tutorial. That's on token side of things. Again, you can read more about what tokens are in this article, and they have even a 10-minute video explaining in detail what tokens are, how you can optimize your token usage, all that good stuff. Now let's go to Voiceflow basics. You might be wondering, there has been a bit of change in the presentation itself. If you go back, I did not cover this in the agenda. This is because halfway through the tutorial, Voiceflow changed all their branding, their website and everything. They look completely different. So I wanted to redo some of the tutorials and add a bit more info. I thought it would be useful. So you will see 3 more slides in this presentation. So Voiceflow basics is one of them. We will discuss blocks and cards. We learn about buttons, choices, intents, utterances, AI, tasks and responses, components and functions. And in the beginner tutorial, we will go through all of these Voiceflow basics, not the components. Components we'll see in that advanced tutorial. But in the beginner tutorial, this is a customer service chatbot for my AI agency, Grey Matter AI. We will have different conversation flows. We have this Gmail integration where when someone submits a form within the chatbot, we will get a notification in Gmail, and we will deploy this on my Webflow website. That's the web chat integration. And we will also see how to integrate Calendly using code without any third-party software, third-party SaaS that we have today. And the next advanced tutorial, this is more of an e-commerce template, the retail chatbot template that they already provide. We will learn more about components, what they are, how they help, how we can reuse them in any conversation flow. And we talk about Zendesk API. We actually go in and integrate a live Zendesk platform with the chatbot, so user can submit their ticket on the chatbot itself. We will first try to answer any question that they have. If we don't manage to find the answer, we will let them submit a ticket. And we will integrate Airtable API as well, where they can track the orders and add notes to the order itself, whether that's cancellation requests, whether that's a delivery address change, or any notes that they want to add to the order. We will do that from the chatbot, and we will integrate this chatbot on a Shopify store. And I have this bonus tutorial that I'm working on. This is also a template by Voiceflow, but they're not providing it anymore. It's a AI concierge system for hotel. So on top of what they provide, I want to show you how to integrate Google Maps into that hotel template, because finding a restaurant, finding places of attraction in and around that hotel would be a great plus for the hotel chatbot. And we have Stripe API. We will use custom actions and see if we can integrate Stripe to chatbot itself. And we will learn how to deploy this chatbot on WhatsApp. And finally, we have this section, level up your voice flow. It's not really in sequence. I will basically demo the first SaaS after the first tutorial. I will usually include these SaaS in the middle of a tutorial by the end of the tutorial or whatnot, to show you an easy way on how to achieve this without doing a long session. For example, SaaS 1, we can integrate Calendly, add videos, make your chatbot look beautiful with CSS, and talk to agent with a click of a button. But I will also show you how to integrate Calendly manually. So you will see that comparison. And SaaS 1, 2, 3, I have 3 softwares that can level up your agency, level up Voiceflow. And if you have further questions, or if you want to access these templates for free, you can join my free Skool community below. I have resources that are chatbot templates from my previous tutorials. We do weekly 1-hour Q&A sessions, and I also have workshops planned every 15 days or so, or even once a month. That would be a longer workshop of 3 to 4 hours where we learn new stuff together. So without further ado, let's jump into our first tutorial. Let's go to Voiceflow website. Once you're in, you can see how widely different it is from just few minutes ago. They actually rebranded 3 days ago. They changed their logo, but it's still relatively easy to find everything that we discussed previously: their marketplace, their functions, their documents. In the resources, you can find the YouTube tutorials as well, GitHub, their Discord community. They have even updated trusted by, previously it was 200,000 teams, now it's 250,000 teams. This goes to show how fast the AI is being adopted. If you don't have an account, click get started. Since I already have an account, I will just sign in. Once you log in, you will see this screen. Create a new assistant. I will call this Gray Matter AI. For modality, you can select either chat or voice. I'm going with chat. And language, these are all the languages that you could select. I'm going with English, obviously. Continue. And here, manage access. You can either invite people of your team to this workspace, or in rare cases, I did invite some clients that they really wanted to see transcripts and see update knowledge base themselves. In that case, you can invite the clients as well. One drawback that you can see is clients can basically see what work you did and they can replicate it if they want. To mitigate that, there are SaaS right now to create a custom dashboard for a client. I will show that once we get into the demo itself. I will demo some of these cool softwares that are available to level up your agency so that you can work with clients more effectively, so that they can see the analytics, see the transcripts, update the knowledge base themselves without coming to the voice flow, seeing your flow, all of your work. For now, I am not inviting anyone. I will just create an assistant. This is what you would see once you create a new assistant. I will first delete everything. I already told you how we would learn here. We learn by doing, so I won't be explaining all of this stuff right now. We will see one by one once we get into the tutorial. And every chatbot that I built from scratch, I usually create a miro board. This will be based on two things. One, the client's website, and two, based on what we found in the discovery call. So I have both of these contexts, what we discussed during the discovery call and the client website. And I will put together this conversation flow for our first client call, and we will discuss whether they like the flow or do they want to see something else, add a new integration or whatnot. This is really simple flow that I have for my agency. Usually it's this multiplied by 2 3. They definitely need a lot of integrations and a lot of intents, buttons, whatnot. For this flow, I will start with a welcome message and ask them, how can I help? And then we will have 3 buttons, one for the services and 2 is contact us, basically submit a form, and third is a discovery call. And there is a no match also. Even if they ask a question, it will be considered as no match, and we use knowledge base to answer the question. Once we answer the question, we loop back and say, how can I help? And we will present them with these buttons and the ability to ask a question as well. And once they select services, they will see a services carousel. And for the contact button, which is submitting a form, we will use the form that I have on my website, name, email, how can we help, and the budget for the project. And we will ask for a confirmation. If they want to edit these again, they will go back and we will do an API call using make. If it's successful and email is sent to our Gmail, then we'll say thank you. If not, we say something went wrong and we can start the flow again. And for the discovery call button, we will provide them with our calendar link that they can book the call with. Again, after each of these, we will again loop back to the first saying, how can I help? Or we will add a goodbye button as well if they would like to end the conversation. That's the flow. If you want me to walk you through the whole process as to how I would create this flow, feel free to comment down below and I will make a dedicated video going through the client's website. So back to the voice flow, we have our gray matter AI. First, like I said, I will start off with a welcome message. For that, I will use a text card. I will just drag and drop here. And I like naming my blocks. So I am calling this a welcome block. And for the welcome block, so you can basically use any text that you want, any welcome message that you want. For this case, I'm saying, hello, my name is Richie. How can I help you? And this is variant generation. You can generate, let's say, 3 variants of the same message. Hi, I'm Richie. What could I do for you? How can I assist you? I will just accept that, command enter and control enter if it's Windows. And each time we interact with this chatbot, you will be seeing a different message. So basically start to text card, and this is the first message they will see. So once this is from talk, we are using a text card to talk. Now it's time to listen. How do we listen? There are 3 different options here. We can either use buttons, we can give them a yes or no choice or predefined choices, and or we can just basically capture everything that they say, whether that's text or whatnot. We can capture that. For First, let's use buttons. First button, we talked about services. First button, services, and second button, submit a form. And third button, let's say, for the buttons, like I showed you earlier, I am going with the services, contact, which is submit a form, and discovery call, I will say schedule a call. So let's see how this looks. Hey there, I'm Richie. How can I assist you? You see services, submit a form, schedule a call. But not every person that comes in would select these. They might type something like, what services do you offer? Even though we have a dedicated flow for services, it says, sorry, I didn't get that. Please try again. What we have to do is, that's where the intent comes in. You need to attach intent for services. What do I mean by that? When you need to create a new intent, services, for the utterances, what services do you offer? If you generate 10 sample examples close to what they have, I'm interested in learning more about services you provide. What kind of services does your company specialize in? How can I access your services? So these are some of the things, or different variations of things that people can say to the chatbot, and it will recognize that we are talking about, or the person, that visitor of that website is talking about the services, and we will display them the services. So that is the intent that we have. Let's say we will add a couple of more intents for these two as well. Create a new intent. We are calling it contact. For sample utterances, I want to submit a form. Let's generate 5 samples for this, and you can see the intent confidence, or the utterances, number of utterances is low. Best practice is to try and fill up all the utterances, fill this bar. Let us add, I need someone to contact me, and generate 5 more samples. Okay, we have good number of phrases now, so that's enough for the contact. And for schedule a call, we can create an intent saying call. For the utterances, I want to schedule a call. Sounds good. Let me generate 10 more variants of nice. The bar is full, and I'll go ahead and create the intent. Let's say someone comes in, ask for what services do we offer, or click the button here. We need to start connecting these services button to a flow. Let's start with a text block. I will say, here are some services we offer. I won't be generating any variants for this. For this block, I'm calling it services. Now that we added a text, you can either provide a list, which is really basic. You can add an image. An image is something you can browse, or you can just provide a link to the image. If you have the image URL, for example, this is an image link that I have. I am entering that, and once you hit enter, you will see an image, AI chatbots. Image is also really basic. So what I would want to do at a minimum is to add a card. So what does a card do? A card has a URL and a title, and there is a description, and there is an ability to add a button as well. There is a button as well. I said go to URL, and this is how a card looks like. So ideally you will have multiple cards, right? So let me delete these two, since you already know how that works. A carousel is something with multiple cards. Card 1, you can just add a card and add more, and you can list all the services that you have. For example, I will be using the URL that I just used. For the title, I said AI chatbots. For the description, I have some test description here. And the buttons is we can say learn more. And for the action, once they click learn more, we have multiple options. You can say go to block, you can send them to welcome block, or you can go to intent and you can reroute them to a different intent. You can either end the conversation, which is really bad user experience, but you can set a variable, you can open a URL. I think this is what's most applicable at this point. For the URL, I will just provide the URL for the actual AI chatbots web page that I have. Once you hit the test, once I select services, here are some services we offer. This is what they would see. If they hit learn more, they will be redirected to my website. Cool. Since it's a carousel, we can add more cards to this. Let me add 2 more. So this is the flow that we have so far. I also added workflow automations and AI consulting, and I do have more services that I want to list, but you get the idea. You know how to add these carousels now. In the talk, we learned about all the text, image, card, and carousel. Now that we have the services carousel, before I hit run, let me train the assistant so that it learns all the intents and stuff. Okay, assistant is ready for testing. Once we run test, you can, let me try whether it recognizes the intent. I said, what services do you offer? So it classified the intent and it's showing me, it's taking me to this flow, and I can see AI chatbots, workflow automation, consulting. When I hit learn more, I'm being taken to that page. Session ended, path not connected. But it shouldn't be like that. Remember, people are conversing on a website with a chatbot. So if you stop abruptly, it's a bad experience. You need to keep them in the loop. I can just take this conversation flow and loop it back here. But every time it says, hello, my name is Richie. How I can help you today. I do like the buttons aspect of this text, but this welcome block wouldn't be able to help me. So for that reason, I suggest we create a new block for, let's call it a follow-up question block. For that, we need to use text. I'll say question. I said, do you have any other questions? I'll generate 3 more variants. Perfect. I will just copy this flow here and paste it. Okay. Now, each of these, I want to connect this to the follow-up question block. How do I do that? I will just drag this. And in the actions, I can go to the block or go to intent or end the conversation, set variable, everything that we've seen earlier. I will say go to block and we go to question block. So let's do that for all of the URLs. Once they click learn more, we will redirect them to the website and also ask a follow-up question. Now that we connected everything, we can, it looks messy. You can just say, go to actions, go to block, and select the block services. It works just fine. So now on to the next button, submit a form. For this, you need to use make and submit this form, the information that we collect from the user, and send this in an email to our Gmail or whichever platform we use. To do that, I need to show you some of the best practices that I follow. I don't want to make this flow really huge on the home page. What I want to like to do is I will add a topic, a new topic. For this topic, we are calling it contact. So this is where we are trying to capture the information that people say, let's say I want to be contacted, or I want to contact someone at your agency. That's when we trigger this flow, and we do that by creating it as a new topic, so it's away from home. And let us start with a text saying, so once they hit I want to be contacted or I want to contact someone, we will take them to this flow. And first question we would generally ask is, let's start with your first name. And we can generate by variants if we like. Let's name this block name. Okay, think about this. In the home, you see submit a form, and you either click the button. First thing you'd see, great, let's start with your first name. Or if they say I want to contact someone, great, let's start with your first name. You need to really visualize and test this before moving forward. This sounds okay for the basic demo. Now the user will share their name. We need to have a way to capture that response in order to send it to our Gmail, right? For that, we need to use a capture card. By default, capture card captures last utterance. It's something that user said. After every message, last utterance will change. Now we need to have different variable because last utterance keeps changing at every instant. We need to capture their name, email, why they are here, and phone number. That's what I mentioned in my Miro board earlier. And there is a way to figure out what info that a certain business, certain agency is capturing. If you look at my website, if you go to the home page or even the contact us page, you will see name, email, message, and their budget. That's the reason why I put these four. Some businesses may need a location, such as a real estate business, let's say. So in that case, you go with what the business wants to capture. That's the idea. For this reason, let me create a new variable. Instead of last utterance, I'll be calling it first name. Capture user reply to first name, and then we go to next text. So the next question would be, thanks, please enter your email, and I will change the name of the block as well. I changed the name to email. Now let us capture the email, and we will save this to a new variable, email. Then we need to find out why they are here. So that would be another text block. So I said, how can we help? Please provide us with a detailed explanation of your product. Always proofread your chatbot's content, every block, every card, step by step, because that's important. You don't want spelling mistakes or misspelled grammar in there. Trust me. Now let me rename this block to why here. And we will also name the variable as why here as well. Instead of last utterance, we create a new variable, why here, create variable, and now so far we have first name, email, and why they're here. Now it's time for budget. Again, we ask them what is the budget for the project, estimate only. This is not a final price by any means. We will then rename the blog to budget and we capture their response as well. I haven't shown you how to set variables. You can either capture all the user's response, that is the last utterance, and save it to a variable, or we can have a button and save the input from the button as a response as well. Let me show you. Instead of this, let's say we have a button in here which has three choices. We are giving them three buttons. The first one would be less than 5,000. Okay, I added three buttons, less than $5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, and 10,000 to 20,000. Now we have the buttons. We are not actually capturing what user has selected. To do that, the next step that I'm going to do is the API step. For the make, we go to make to set this up. We will send all of this info to our Gmail. We need to do a set step. For less than $5,000, we need to add an action, which is we are setting the variable and we are applying this to a budget variable. You need to create a new variable. Budget is not available in the, this is something I created. You need to apply this to budget and we are calling this less than 5K. Add set. Okay, string should be in quotes, less than 5. Okay, got it. So we do the same for the other two as well. We need to set actions. So I've added actions for each of these choices and we will connect each of these choices to next block. But before we do that, I think it's better if before we go to API step, let's do a confirmation block. In the confirmation block, we will ask them for, is this information accurate? And we will give them what they just entered. For first name, we'll select first name, email, email. For why here variable, I'm reading it as message. It doesn't make sense if we say why here. But for the budget estimate, it's straightforward. And we will ask them, would you like to submit this? And we will give them a yes or no choice. Now, let's test the flow that we have so far. You can hit R or run test buttons, submit a form. Okay, you see how we haven't selected the block here. That's easily fixable. Let me select a block on contact name. Okay, let's run the test again. Submit a form. Great. Let's start with your first name. money@test.com. Demo text. For the budget, I will select 5,000 to 10,000. Okay. What I would like to do is eliminate 5K to 10K. It doesn't look professional. Okay. And when I say no, it says excellent. Let's begin with your given name. It doesn't sound good either. I will make these changes first. Let me remove the randomizer here. I'm changing it to please enter your first name. And for the variables here, I will edit them 5,000. Instead of choices, I will add buttons. I don't want users typing when they can select, make these choices easily. For actions, let's go to block, contact name, and if they say yes, we will take them to the API step. Let me test this quick. Is this information accurate? First name, email, message, budget estimate. Would you like to submit that? If I say yes, it will, now it's not connected to anything, but if I say no, it will loop back again. So let's have our API step. We need to send all of this info to Gmail. Dev, and we select API. For the API step, we'll need this request URL. For this, you need to head to make.com. I will provide all the links below. I already have an account. If you don't have one, you need to sign up. Once you're in, this is the dashboard that you see. You need to create a new scenario. And the first application we need is, once you select webhooks, you need to pick custom webhooks and you need to choose create a new hook and save. You will see this URL. Once you see this, copy address to clipboard and you go to the API step and you paste this URL and send a request. 200 means it's a successful API call. If you head to make, you see successfully determined. So you hit OK. The other module that we need to add is Gmail. Now this is the Gmail address that is being used to send these emails. So you need to authorize. I already authorized mine. It's just following step by step. You need to just sign in with your Google account and it's done. And you will see this page once you authorize that. I will select send an email, and for the recipient, I'll be using the same email that I signed in with. And for the subject, I selected form submission, but you can select anything that you want. Before we come into content, I would like to add few things here in the parameters section of the Voiceflow, because these parameters are the variables that we are trying to capture. The first one is the first name. We'll need to enter the variable here. I will do the same for the next 3 variables. Now that we selected all 4 parameters, we can go ahead and edit this in Make. I will just use a generic message saying you received a following submission. Now we don't have these details just yet. For now, you need to just save it and try and run once. Okay, first you need to save it. Let me stop that for a while. First save it and then run once. Now that we added these details, I will try to send a request with these test fields: money at test, why here is a test, and the budget is 5,000. I will hit generate and 200 is a success. Once you go in, I have received an email, actually, form submission saying first name, email. See how these fields are empty? So to receive the info, we run this scenario only once and we have this data now. Let me connect each of these with the respective fields. Now you need to hit OK and save it once again. And I will run this once more and I will resend the same data to, okay, I received one more email. It says form submission. Now I see first name, money, email, message, and budget. That's how you integrate Gmail using Make. Now all you got to do is you need to turn it on and set the scheduling as immediately as data arrives. And every time someone submits a form here and it would be a success. For success, we will add a text button says thank you, your form has been submitted. And we will finish off this with go to block and we will go home and we will start there. Okay. If it failed for some reason, we'll say something went wrong, please try again. And we will take them to the welcome block as well. We don't want them to try and try again. Let me test the whole thing and test. Okay, I entered following details: money@gmail.com, demo chatbot, 5,000 to 10,000, and I hit yes. API call successfully triggered. This is in the debug mode, by the way. So that's why you're seeing all of these messages. Your end user won't be able to see anything of such. So you don't have to worry about that. And at the end of this, submit the form flow. I selected welcome message. I should probably go and change it to the question block, so it would be a follow-up instead of the actual welcome first message, reintroducing our AI assistant again. We successfully finished 2 conversation flows and we are still in the first basic tutorial. And this is the form submission that I received, by the way. Now we have finished 2 conversation flows for our customer service chatbot. We still have a scheduler call, which is Calendly link, and the other one is actually using our knowledge base to answer the questions. First, let's cover how we can use AI model and the knowledge base, our own knowledge base, to answer the questions that user has. For this, you need to go to content and you need to select add data source. When we covered key concept, we talked about how we can add plain text, we can upload files of different sizes, URLs, sitemaps, and integrations. For this example, I will use my sitemap. This is my website, and I will copy the URL and I will just add sitemap.xml in the end, and that will give my sitemap. And this is something Voiceflow has introduced recently. Refresh rate. You know how websites are constantly updating, and if it's a Notion database or a URL like a Google Doc, you need to be continuously refreshing that. So it's daily, never weekly, monthly. I hope they will bring hourly soon, but let's stick with daily for now and continue. These are all the pages that my website has. I will add all of them to the knowledge base, and data sources are being added and status is successful, as you can see. Now, if we hit on this settings, you will see the knowledge base settings. AI model is GPT 3.5 Turbo. They have added Claude 3. I think it's recently. It was not here 4 days ago. Awesome. You can get these on a paid plan. I will use GPT 3.5 Turbo for this example. You can set the temperature wherever you like. Max tokens, it will be usually low. I left it at 500. You can go up to 2000 if you'd like. Chunk limit 3 is good. And this is a prompt that I prepared. I will share the prompt and the template in the Skool community. Please check the link down below. If you want me to make a dedicated video on prompt engineering for AI agencies, comment down below as well. Once we save it, we can preview the knowledge base. Yeah. Once we hit send, and this is the response that I got. If you see the sources, frequently asked questions, AI consulting, AI chatbots. Good work. And to use this, what we can do is we need a no match. For the action, we need to use one of the AI steps, which is response AI card. For set AI, don't worry about it. In the next tutorial, I will go through set AI. There is a wonderful example where we can use set AI. So this is a response AI step. And instead of using AI model, I will select knowledge base, and question would be whatever the last utterance of the user is. So we will try to answer this question when there is a no match. And if it's found, it will display the answer, and we will then go to that follow-up question. If it's no, we will say, so for no match not found, I am just saying something went wrong, please contact us, and I gave my email address, and that will end the flow. So let's test it. Run test. We already have intents listed for all of these, right? We have services, submit a form, a contact, and a call. For this, I need a different question that is not being covered in the intents. I said, what is gray matter AI? So nothing matched, and it used the knowledge base, AI knowledge base response, GPT 3.5 Turbo. You can even see the number of tokens that has been used. And Gray Matter AI is a company that offers comprehensive. Awesome. We know that knowledge base is working. For submit a form, we forgot to connect this flow. Go to block contact name. Nice. For the no match, we need a no match case here as well, right? Awesome. Finally, we are at schedule a call. To do this, we need to set a variable. Let's call it link. Create a variable named link, and we will set that to my Calendly link, which I'm going to copy and paste. Now, once we set the link, let me just move this a little bit. Now let's have a text block where we copy a code, an iframe. This will be a Calendly embed. Paste it here. And we follow that with our Calendly will be rendered in the chat. We can only say, please book a time that works for you. We cannot confirm whether they actually booked a call or no. We can ask them in the form of buttons. You can say, I'm done. And we can then go to the block, home and question. Let's test this. Schedule a call. Now we see this empty gray block here because the Calendly won't be rendered here in the test chatbot. What we want to do right now is go ahead and deploy this into our main site and then tweak it from there. Now that we finished the whole thing, we finished all the flows, services, submit a form, schedule a call, no match, right? Now we will go ahead and publish this. I will call this Richie. Go ahead and publish. Successfully published. Let me embed the widget. And before we do that, there is a bit of customization that we could do. You can see under general, it says chat persistence never to forget, write 25 pixels by 25 pixels. I can turn off powered by Voiceflow. And for the appearance, we can customize the color. I will go with purple, neon. You can upload an image if you'd like. I won't be doing that now. Now I will copy this script and head on over to Gray Matter AI and Webflow dashboard. You need to go to Site Designer, and this applies for both Wix, Squarespace, or any no-code web platforms. This is all the sections that I have. Once you hit add, you will see embed, HTML embed. This is what I need. Usually it's by the end of the page, but if you want to drag it and add somewhere that you like, you can do so as well. So I need to edit the HTML embed. I will just paste the code that I have right now and hit save. Save and close. Publish to selected domains. And done. I did not have a chatbot previously. Now once I hit refresh, I am seeing a chat icon. Greetings, I'm Richie. How may I help you? Schedule a call. Perfect. I see my Calendly here. A person can go ahead and book the call and answer any questions. Once they are done, all can be done within the window. Once they are done, they will hit I'm done. We can have more questions, anything that we want, submit a form, first name, last name. Said yes. Thank you, your form has been submitted. And let me check my email real quick. Yes, form submission received. Test, money at test, 5,000. And that should conclude our first tutorial. We haven't finished. Just a moment here. And for actions, go to blog. So I basically connected this set link to the new blog. We can call this link Calendly. You can find this template in my Skool, my free community. Link will be in the description down below. Yesterday it worked fine, but when I was testing this morning, something came up. Something did not seem right. When I was chatting, when I hit submit a form, I was asked my first name and I was asked to enter email. Once I entered email, as you can see, the flow went back to the start again. It's asking for my first name. So this is an important screen. How do you access these transcripts? It's under designer, content, and number 3 is transcripts. So under transcripts, you can see the tests that we actually did in our chatbot and the tests that are done on the website. I mean, it's not a test, even though it says test user, it's actual website visitor. If someone from your team has any conversations with the bot, their name will show up here as well. So if you look at the conversation that I had this morning, this is great because if you can actually go in, review all the transcripts that our chatbot is having, and if you find an utterance that matches with an intent, you can add utterance to intent. Submit a form is contact 100%, right? I selected a button, but this shouldn't be contact. It is, for some reason, it is thinking that the intent is contact, so it's restarting the flow. How can we fix that? Before I show you how to fix that, this is an important screen that we have right now. When errors like these show up, you can save this for later. If you have a team member or if you are working with a dev, you can actually mention that, hey money, it shouldn't say that. Look at message number 3, it's not right. And once your team member logs in, they see the same screen as well. They see the notes. And once they review that, they can hit mark as reviewed. So transcripts is a great feature to add utterances to the intents. That's one thing. And for team collaboration as well. So let me show you how to fix what happened earlier. It happened in contact, right? For some reason, the response that we provided here is triggering the intent. So what we can do is select capture email, and in the settings, intent scoping, instead of listen for all intents, select only intents in this step. That way it doesn't try and figure out which intent it is and restart the flow. It will just capture what is being said in that step. So do that for all the intents here, so that way there won't be any errors. Intent scoping, only intents in this step. Nice. That should fix it. If you have any problems, feel free to join my free community, Skool. I'm happy to answer any question that you have. Let's recap what we have learned so far. We know what intent is. We know response AI. We use that to answer questions from our knowledge base. Set AI, I will discuss that in the next tutorial. And we have seen using all of these 4 talk cards, that is text card, image card, the actual card, and the carousel. And we know how to use listen, buttons, choices, and capture. In logic, we know how to set the variable, and we know what random is. We are randomizing all of these variants. And component, I will discuss that in the next tutorial as well. And we know how to end the flow. We will just drag this and place at the end of the conversation, and that will end the flow. In the logic, we have yet to discuss what a condition is and component. In the dev side of things, we need to learn what a function is, what API. When we are submitting the form to Gmail, we saw the API step. Custom action, we will see that in further tutorials. Let me show you what a conditional logic is. Library is something where you save a certain flow. For example, if you want to save these 3 flows, the question, follow-up question block, the knowledge base block, and this new block, what you need to do is you just select these blocks and you hit save to library, and you can give a template a name, for example demo, and you can create it. It will be saved in the library. Once you drag and drop demo, you will see your 3 blocks that you have saved. And that's the use of library. You can save these blocks or conversation flows and reuse them in other templates or in the same template. For example, let's see save information block. Here, what's happening is, what is your name? If they're using the conditional logic, this is by default available in all of the Voiceflow templates. Any template or any assistant that you create, you will see these. So this is not something that I created or something new. If what is your name? If the answer is Elon Musk, if the name is Elon Musk, then the answer would be Twitter is best. All other names, hello name. So you get the idea. What is 2 plus 2? And you can take it if they answered 4, right answer. All other answers, wrong. That's the conditional logic. You can apply that in here. Whether If they selected email, take this flow. If they selected phone number, take them to this flow. Based on conditions, you can differentiate. So there are a lot of ways to use conditional logic in your chatbots. Let me show you and how that works. What is your name? If I say Elon Musk, taking path 1, Twitter is the best. So you get the idea. Let me show you what a function is. Function is something Voiceflow introduced recently. There is a lot of info online if you search for it. I won't be going into coding aspect of things because that's what it is. Let's say in Voiceflow, functions allow you to create reusable user-defined steps that can perform tasks ranging from simple text manipulation to making complex API calls. So there are a lot of functions that are provided by Voiceflow or the community for us to use. I won't be going into the coding aspect of these functions, but I will show you how to use a function template, download it, and use it in your chatbot. If we go to Voiceflow, there in the resources, there is integrations and functions. Build reusable integrations with Voiceflow function. These are the built-in functions that Voiceflow offers. Dynamic carousel using Zendesk Help Center Analytics. We will choose something simple. For this example, search and retrieve a GIF from Jiffy. You download the function. As you can see, the input variables are search term, language, API key, and limit. Output would be a GIF. Path says success and error path. Let me download the function. I just downloaded the function. What I would do now is go back to my Voiceflow chatbot and I will import a function. Go to content and in the functions, I will say import. And I will browse the file. Selected the function that I just downloaded. Let's go back to the designer. In dev, select function. Once you select, let me rename this block. You can select the function here, Jiffy search. As soon as I selected this, there is an input variable mapping, as you can see here. What variables does this need? Okay, keyword to search for GIFs, and this is language, 2-letter code EN, an API key. They even gave us the URL on how to obtain the API key and the number of GIFs to retrieve from Jiffy. Okay, for search term, let me test this. I will say welcome. And language, it's 2-letter code EN, and limit I will need 1. Let me go and grab my API key from Jiffy. I copied the API key. Let me try and run this. Once I execute this, the path is success. So let us see this in action. Okay, I got a GIF. So this is not connected to any flow and it doesn't really add value to manually enter all these values, and we should give user some kind of power over this, right? For example, let's create a variable here. Let's call that a term, as in search term. We will add this as create a variable named term, and to get term we need to add a text. I said please enter a search term, and once they inputted the search term, we will capture that and we will save it as So what we capture will be the term. So we say, please enter a search term, and let's say we say goodbye. Love you, goodbye, Jeff is generated. So I won't be finishing this flow. I mean, the end user wouldn't be able to see this anyway. I wanted to show you how to use functions in your chatbot. There are some really great functions that you can add to your chatbot. For example, this is dynamic carousel using knowledge based sources would be a great addition for someone like a Shopify store or any e-commerce store for that matter. Ability to generate images with the buttons and carousel. Product recommendation chatbots would be great for this. If you want me to make a dedicated video on Voiceflow functions, comment down below. So that's all for functions. If you want to share this with a client for testing purposes or whatnot, you can hit share button and you can change the branding as well. If you want to add a password for the chatbot, you can do so. This is again for the sharing purposes, not really the actual chatbot that has been deployed in the website. That's different. Even if you can start the conversation and look at, again, and testing, you cannot see the Calendly being rendered, but on the main site, even if you refresh it, you won't see the updated logo. To update this, you have to go to the settings and not settings, integrations, and then in general, good, start a new chat, schedule a call. Nice, it's working. Done. Anything else? That should be it. We have seen the integrations, we have seen the settings, and we have seen and this is analytics, the number of interactions that chatbot had with the user, any user. Again, number of users, that includes the website visitors as well, the number of sessions, and number of times each flow has been selected, and the recognition rate. The 65% of the messages that are being said can be matched to intent, and 36% is not being recognized. That's what it's saying. And we already talked about transcripts and content. And here we have the designer. I will show you how to export this as a template. I already showed you how to share this with your prospective clients, share prototype. You copy the link and they get the URL and they test it. That's one way. If you want to give away your templates, this is how you do it. Export as assistant file JSON and you export it. The file has been downloaded. If you want to use my template in your Voiceflow, you need to hit import.vf file here and select the file that you downloaded from the account. I think I covered most of the basics. We will now look at an advanced e-commerce tutorial where we integrate Airtable and Zendesk. For Airtable, we will track the order and add order nodes. For Zendesk, we will try to answer users' question. If we did not manage to find an answer, we will let them submit a ticket. We will see that video. We will work on a template, not really build it from scratch. If you want to customize that template for your needs, I strongly suggest you watch this video. I go step by step explaining how to make this template your own. replacing products from the existing ones to new ones, using product recommendation, all of that stuff. You will learn a lot if you watch this video. I will provide the link both in the card and in the description down below for this video. To use this template, I strongly suggest you watch this video followed by this video. I have not covered the API integrations of Zendesk and Airtable in that video. For that reason, a lot of people have asked me to create a follow-up video and a longer tutorial covering that aspect. That is why I am including that part in this Voiceflow course. So these two go hand in hand. They are complementary to each other. Make sure you watch that. And I also discuss how to integrate this chatbot with Google Sheets as well. So there's a bonus as well. To get that template, you need to, it will already show up in your Voiceflow account. It will say start with the template, retail purchases, web chat. That is the one you need to use. You just copy that template. First, I will go through the entire template and explain what's happening and what it does. Once I do that, I will actually go into each of these components and finish Zendesk, order information, account information components in sequence. So let's go to home and see the beginning of the flow. Once we start, chatbot will try and get account information. If the account is found, it will say welcome back by the first name. How can I help you today? And we can shop beauty products, orders and purchases, returns and exchanges, customer service. These are all the buttons. And if we hit something else, it will ask you, how can I help? And it listens for our intent. So if we select shop products, what happens in shop products is they will ask you to select one of these buttons: makeup, skincare, hair, fragrance, and each button takes you to carousel of different products that they have. So if you are a clothing store, you have t-shirts, jeans. That's why I mentioned watch this video first, because I will actually show you how to edit each of these carousels and make it your own. And that's for shop products. If we go orders and purchases, it will ask you to track the order. If you can check order status, you will give it your order number, and based on the order number, it will go and check your info against Airtable database. And if it's found the order info, it will give you the order status, whether it's in shipping or it's delivered or it is delayed, whatever the case may be. And if you want to cancel an order, it's a different flow. We won't be going into that. We will be adding a feature where you can add notes to your Airtable database, whether that's cancellation request. We will see all of that. If you see here, this is a component, send Zendesk ticket. It is, would you like to talk to an agent? If they say yes, the user will be able to submit a ticket to Zendesk. If you see this send in customer service as well, there is ability to send a ticket to customer service. Once they are not able to find any solution for the question, you'd be able to send a Zendesk ticket. That's the use for the component. You can create component once and reuse that component anywhere that you'd like in that chatbot. So for that reason, components are really useful. We haven't had a chance to discuss components in the basic tutorial, but you know what they mean now. If we test from here, we won't be able to get accurate, how should I put it, since we have not connected our Airtable, we won't be able to authenticate ourselves. So let's start the flow from here and see hi and 0. Okay, let's say shop beauty products, makeup, vegan, cruelty free. Okay, nice. You see how the products are being displayed, and once you hit add to cart, it will be redirected to the page you want to learn more or get recommendation. This is really nice. In the customer service, one of the aspects that I really like is sentiment classification or sentiment analysis. This is especially useful in niches like weight loss or fitness, because you are acknowledging you are a support bot for Voiceflow's beauty store, responding to user problems, helping them solve them. Based on user sentiment, generate a statement that acknowledges how they are feeling and provide them with some comfort or encouragement. This is huge. It does make these chatbots more human-like. How should I say it? If they say, I'm struggling to lose weight, if an AI or a chatbot, okay, how much weight did you want to lose? That's the kind of response people expect from a chatbot. If AI was able to match that emotion, match that sentiment, and offer comfort and encouragement, this is one of the features that I really like in Voiceflow, the sentiment analysis. What can I help you with today? I'll look through documentation to answer your question before connecting to an agent. I'm fed up with my... When I said I'm fed up with my oily skin, that's a typo. I said oily skin, but you get the idea. I understand that you're feeling frustrated and I'm here to help you. Don't worry, we'll work together to resolve your issue and ensure a smooth experience. Hang in there and we'll get you sorted out. We'll get everything sorted out for you. You see how it's matching the emotion and providing comfort and encouragement before it provides an answer. The reason for unable to find relevant answer is something that I did. You have to, if you look at home, first they will ask you to add these sample URLs to knowledge base. I haven't done that. Okay, I was able to select all of these, copy and paste them in the knowledge base. Data source URLs, import. So I went back to the designer, and you need to train your assistant to get these answers. If we go to customer service intro, ask us any question. I'm fed up with my dry skin. Let's see what AI says now. Two things happened. We used AI set. AI set is for the sentiment analysis and the sentiment classification, and it utilized a total of 65. AI response is token consumption 125. I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling frustrated. Again, it came up with some comfort and encouragement, and this is the AI response from knowledge base, which is, I'm sorry to hear that you're fed up with your dry skin. Here are some steps you can take to help alleviate dry skin. This is from our knowledge base, mind you. So whatever question they ask, we will try to incorporate our products wherever it makes sense to do so. That's what I did with my previous e-commerce clients. We will provide them with info, and we will also promote our products. That is the set AI step. We are classifying, this is how you do an AI model and set AI step. We saw response AI in the basic tutorial. This is set AI. Based on user's last utterance, classify user sentiment, for example, mad, frustrated, confused, curious, scared. This is based on the question. When I say fed up, they knew that I was frustrated. So it classified And this is also a response AI step. Instead of using knowledge base, like in previous example, we are using AI model. You are a support bot for Voiceflow's beauty store, responding to new users' problem and helping them solve them. So this is where we ask them to provide comfort and encouragement. This is based on the sentiment that has been classified in the previous step. So this is the 25 tokens that it took, and this step took 125 tokens. And we answered the question using our knowledge base, which is what we did in the previous example as well. So that is the customer service side of things. Every answer, AI doesn't have answer to every question, right? So we will have all of these tickets and all of the documentation that our client gives us, that an e-commerce store gives us, and we have all of that data, and we try to answer users' question using that. But when we fail to do so, when AI doesn't find an answer, we give them a chance to submit a ticket. This is the Zendesk ticket component here. Did this help solve your question? If they say yes, AI will say great, what else can I help with? If they say no, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, and we will ask them to complete a ticket that we will let them submit in the Zendesk. That the customer service, and we saw shop products and orders and purchases works in a similar way, where we try to find the order using an order number, and returns and exchanges is something to do with Zendesk as well. They have, it looks like you want to learn about returning the order. If they say yes, would you like to talk to an agent? We will show return policy. Again, this is not linked to Airtable or any other database. They are processing cancellations through Zendesk also. So I believe a better alternative would be add order notes, or we can have a dedicated button saying cancel order. If the user clicks cancel the order, we will send a note to our Airtable database saying the user wants to cancel the order. First, I will show you Zendesk Integration, because that has showed up in 3 different parts in the chatbot alone. First, you go to Zendesk, and this is the dashboard that you would see, whether you're doing this for your business or your client's business. This is what you would see on the dashboard. Now we need to go to the admin center, manage in admin center. On the right, you will see apps and integrations. In the apps and integrations, there is Zendesk API. This is the first time that I'm doing this in the account, so I will agree to the terms. Get started. Okay, go to settings and under the Zendesk API and enable token. We haven't created tokens before, so let's create one. Okay, once you create your token, you need to copy it, because once you leave this page, they won't show it to you again. I am naming this as test, just to make sure. I will delete this after the tutorial. I will save this. I copied the API token, right? For token access, if you read here, it clearly shows for authentication, for authorization, you need to have your email address /token : and the API token. This is the whole, we need all of this info, and we need to go to basic authentication header generator. I will provide this link in the description down below. You need your email address /token : the API key that you just copied, and you do a base 64 encode, and you copy the result that has been generated. And now we head on over to our template here. You need to change a couple of things in this template for it to work. First, I pasted instead of API key. If you copy and paste your API key straightforward, it wouldn't work. You have to follow what I just showed you and replace the API key field that we have on the API block to the URL that we just copied. And you can leave the body in the raw form as it is, and you need to have your subdomain changed. This is something we find in our subdomain is usually, if you look at the URL, you will see the subdomain here. For me, it's graymatterhelp.zendesk. I can just replace this subdomain in the URL field that we have on the chatbot, and it had to be post request. Now let me send a request. The user question, I'm saying it test2 and the name Mani Kanasani, and this is my other email that I have. I think I had a wrong code before. Let me paste this again. Okay, the status is 201 and that is a success. If I open this is the earlier test that I did. If I refresh my page, I see a test 2, which is open ticket. Test 2 has been created, and I will receive a message to my other email as well that a ticket has been generated under my name. Let's see that as well. Just a ticket was created on your behalf. Obviously, it would be a bit longer than this if we follow the flow. Let me do that now. We can now test our chatbot. And one more correction that I did is here earlier it was capturing as user email. I created a new variable saying email. That is because I have also made a small correction to this template, which is previously when I started working with this template, it said capture user reply to the email block. What it said was capture user reply, and they're saving it to user email. What I did was I am now capturing the entire user email. It was user email earlier, but I created a new variable that said email. The reason for that, if you look in the body of the API call, it is mentioned as email. I just wanted it to be consistent. For that reason, I went ahead and changed it. Again, this template will be provided in my Skool. If you have any questions, you can ask me there. Let me test this flow now. Always remember to train your assistant. I did. If not, you might run into some errors. Once I run test, I added some random text. Match successfully, API call successfully triggered. Thank you for submitting your ticket. If I go to my Gmail, this is a previous test that I did. They're showing up. Let me try and refresh and see if I can find the new one. I think this is the one. See, welcome to AI Agency Incubator. The goal of this Skool is to help what we just entered, and it's 0 minutes ago. And if I look at the support ticket email that I received, it says a ticket was created on my behalf, and it's the same message that I entered in the chat. So that's how you integrate Zendesk using the API. Please make sure you go to Mixed Analytics and have this format for your API key for this to work. And if you have any questions, like I said, you can find me in Skool. So Zendesk ticket is done. Let's go to order information. Now it's time for Airtable integration. So if we look at the flow of what's happening, we are collecting the order number, we are doing an API call, and based on that, if we find the order number, we will display the product name and its shipping status. And we will then ask them whether they want to add a note to the order. We will ask what the note is, and we will update the database accordingly. For this to work, you need an Airtable account. For this, if you want to test this, you need an Airtable account. I already created an Airtable account. For order tracking, for this demo, I created, how should I put it, the order number, 3 dummy products. I'm calling this database order tracking, this sheet. We have products, we have the customer, we have the status, we have the name of the customer, and there is order comment. For two of these, there are already comments here. We will now comment on this one. So let's head on over to Voiceflow and see what information is needed to finish this. We need an Airtable API.Airtable. It is doing a GET request, and we need the API key. First things first, let me get API key. This is the dashboard that you would see. If you go to Developer Hub, the first thing you would see is Personal App Access Token. API key is deprecated as of February 1st, 2024. You won't be able to create any. Just create a Personal Access Token. I'm calling this VF Demo. For scopes, I would add all of the available scopes so we can read, write. I don't think advanced is needed. For access, I am letting it access the order tracking. Let's create the token now. Again, they will only show this token once, so make sure you copy it before closing or hitting done. Now that we have our API key, I will just paste it here. And how to get this? If you go to your Airtable list records, how to go to list records? Okay, let's see. Click on help, API documentation. If you go to list records here, this is the URL that we need. You copy the URL and you paste it in here. Again, this is a GET request, and for the authorization, we have our bearer space your secret access token. These are the records that we have. If you see, the order number is 123, product is beauty kit, customer is, and the name is, we have the status as well. These are the records. If you want a dedicated tutorial on how to import these from your Shopify store, comment down below. I'll make a video for that as well. So let's go back, and if we look at the parameters here, we have order number. Let me change this a little bit. I'll capture the entire user and save it to order num. I'll create a new variable for this, order num. In here, I will change this to the one that I just created, order num. Okay, product name, shipping status, And we also have a name field, remember? If you look here, we also have a name. So we need a records.fields.name as well in here. So I'm adding that. Let's capture more fields, that is, and let's capture and make a new variable called name. Oh, name already exists. Then let's use name. Okay, what I would like to say here is hi name. So if you manage to find the order number, we will greet the customer. We say hi name, your product name is shipping status. Okay, and let's see if this works. We will now send a request for 123 order number, generate 200. Now we have 123 beauty kit, money shipped. Awesome. Let me try and run the flow first. Your order number. What other order numbers do we have? 456. Let's try 456 now. 456. Successfully triggered. Hi money, your sunscreen is in transit. Now it's time to update notes. The field that you see here, order comment, we can, for 456 it says our address changed, 789 it says test. I will now try to add a comment for 123 and let's see how that goes. First we need our order table URL, which is found in the list records that we were looking at earlier. Update records, update or upset records, API Airtable, sample orders. Okay, this is the URL that we need. Copy. So make sure it's a patch request as well. You can see that here also for updating the records. Now, what about the field that we are updating? We are updating the field order comment. So just a little bit, we are changing the comment to order comment because that's what we are capturing. That's what it's mentioned here as well. So to keep it consistent, I am changing that. And the API key is the one that we have used earlier. We can still use the same API key here as well. Okay, let's test the flow from the beginning and see if it worked. Order number 123 successfully triggered. Beauty kit is shipped. Do you want to know? Yes. I said I want to cancel the order. Okay, match command, jumping to an order. Okay, what happened was I want to cancel the order. It is triggering an intent. Unfortunately, let's go to our order information again and let's, in the order comment, we need to change the intent scoping for listen only here. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Yes. I said cancel my order. API call successfully triggered. Great, your comment has been added. If we look at the order tracking, it says cancel my order. The comment has been successfully added. And that's how you integrate Airtable using the API block. We have now finished Zendesk integration and order tracking and adding the notes aspect of Airtable integration. I already showed you how to integrate Airtable. If you look at this component, get account information, this is also using a GET request on an Airtable. I already showed you how to go through list records for a GET request and the authorization and the parameters, the capture response, right? So To make this work, you can either use existing table that we have, and we need to filter by formula. Instead of order number, we can filter it by the name field and verify that way. But this is doing something different. You need to, if you want to use these parameters, you have to create your own table in AirTable, your own database in AirTable, and then follow this process. Think of it as your coursework. Now that you learned how to integrate Airtable, try to do this yourself. You can let me know in Skool. I will make this part of the video available in my Skool. You can watch it if you are not able to do it yourself. So let us test this. I already showed you how to publish this chatbot and run it, or if you want to share it to someone, you can do so as well. I won't be changing the branding. Once it's published, instead of testing here, I will share prototype, copy link, open in a new tab, and have a conversation here. Start conversation. Welcome to Voiceflow's Beauty. We're absolutely thrilled to have you. How can we help you today? Let's say shop beauty products. Skincare. Nice. They are displaying carousels. You want to learn more or get more recommendations? Yes. Looks like you're looking for a recommendation. I said makeup for dry skin. Let's see what AI recommends. Nice. It gave me 3 product descriptions. What we can do is you can use a function that is listed on Voiceflow's website, and with using a function like display dynamic carousels from the knowledge base, try to display a product and a buy button using that function. That is a good challenge to try. If not, you can comment down below and I will make this video on Skool as well. In addition to the account information component, when I say no, no, I'm sorry to hear that. You can submit a ticket to our submit. Let's submit a ticket. So there is a condition that the ticket length should be over 80 characters to accept this. If I say test, it wouldn't go through. It will ask me that your request needs to be at least 80 characters. So I need to come up with some text. Thank you for submitting your ticket. Please note our team receives high value. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. If I refresh this, I have 6 so far. Number 7, this is what I just received. Hi, welcome to Incubator, and Mani Kanasani, and the email that I just entered. I will also receive an email of the same support ticket. Let's see, the conversation has ended. We can restart the conversation and check the order tracking as well. Orders and purchases. Check order status. 456. Hi Mani, your sunscreen is in transit. Do you want to add a note? Say yes. Great, your comment has been added. This is something in the flow. For that reason it's showing up. I would actually go into that flow and delete it. Let me do that right now. So when we check the order status, while we are displaying that, we tested the order information flow earlier. That is working fine. It is displaying the order status. And after the note, once the flow is finished, it is automatically going to this message that says it looks like your order has been delivered, and it's showing an image that This is an image that they added by default, so we don't need that now that we are displaying the order status in here. Let me go to Airtable and see if the comment has been updated. Cancel my order. Okay, the 4561 for money, we added the comment change address. So work fine. Change address, order number 456. Great. So that is the template that we have so far. Again, try to complete this component by yourself. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in Skool. I don't have a Shopify store, but I want to show you how you would deploy this on a Shopify store of your own Shopify store or your clients, and to show you how to integrate this published bot onto a Shopify store, we have Daniel from Voiceflow.
I'm going to hit publish, and once this is done uploading, it's going to tell me to embed a snippet on my website. So let's go ahead and do this. And you can see that I can customize my chatbot down here with the logo in different colors. But what I really want is this body tag that we're going to go ahead and add to Shopify. So in Shopify, we're going to go to edit code, and we're going to go to our theme.liquid file. This is going to let you add the chatbot to any page of your website. We're going to write down to the body right before the body tag, paste in the script, and hit save. And that's it. So now when I go to preview store, you're going to see that it pops up here on the bottom right, and I can go ahead and interact with it. So I can say something like, hi, let's start the conversation. And now I'm going to ask it something like, what is your return policy? And what's really cool about Voiceflow is that every time a user has a conversation with your assistant, it's actually saving a transcript. And so if I go back to my Voiceflow project here and I go to transcripts, I can see here that this is a conversation I just had where I said, what's your return policy? Hi. And I can go ahead and hit mark reviewed, save for later, and maybe even tag a teammate to come and check this out.
Yes, it's that simple. There are other ways where you can integrate this bot on other websites. It's almost the same. If you want to learn more about that, comment down below. Even this bot is really great, as you can see. And that concludes our second tutorial. Now it's time for the final bonus tutorial that I mentioned, AI Concierge for hotel. Remember how I said I will share some softwares that will level up your agency? Well, this is one of the SaaS that I really like and use. Initially, they started out for free, but now they implemented something called load tokens recently, where you can, this is the number of times your AI agent is loaded and had conversations with. I mean, it's not really counting the number of messages, but each time the assistant is loaded and had an interaction, not just number of messages, mind you. So an entire chat session, if the user doesn't refresh the page and has the conversation one time with the chatbot, that is only one load. You get the idea, right? So if you want to load more tokens, you can get 15,000 load tokens for 20 USD. So that's a really good deal. Voiceflow is an amazing tool, but let's learn what else Voiceglow can provide to level up that experience. First off, what I really liked about Voiceglow is their embed feature. You can select various themes. There is a lot of customization to edit the CSS file if you know coding. And there is a file upload feature. Imagine you are working with a plumbing business or a property management business that has to deal with a lot of photos, a lot of repairs that would come up. Being able to receive images within the chatbot, allowing users to upload images is a great thing to have. An iframe, we talked about the Calendly embed. It's easy. It's just copy and paste a link and it's done. That's the same with a YouTube video or a Vimeo player as well. and you can embed a whole Google form, and you can prompt user to select multiple options at a time. They can click that's huge too, selecting multiple options. And auto carousel renders carousels programmatically through a JSON array. This is something I haven't tried before, but I would love to. If you want me to do a dedicated video on softwares on top of Voiceflow or just Voiceglow, let me know in the comments down below. I will show a couple of features here that I really like. You need to download their Voiceglow template. Once you finish downloading, head on over to Voiceflow and start the import. I opened the template. This is what you would see. Everything is in the library. What you could do now is there is dynamic buttons, dynamic carousel, file upload, create browser data, iframe, multi-select. Let me first have iframe. What I would do is copy this iframe embedding, select trackpad while we are here, copy the whole thing. And this is one of the chatbots that I'm giving away. It's a real estate chatbot. This is one of the demo chatbots that we made for a real estate company for demo purposes. So this is where we can add a video. For example, in the action body, if you see, there is a YouTube video embed. If I go on YouTube and see, copy this and paste it. Wait, is there an embed option? Okay. If there is an embed option, it's easier. Command C. Let's paste the URL. Okay. When they hit virtual tour, they will. Let me train the assistant. Once they hit virtual tour, they need to see this video. So what you need to do in order for this to work is you need to go to widget first, and you need to create a widget on Voiceflow, and you need this Voiceflow dialog API, and it's different for each chatbot. So if you go to, you need to go to integrations, API keys, copy API key, and then Voiceglow, you paste the dialog API, hit enter, save. Let me first publish this. I'm not sure. We have published the bot and we have the dialog API here, widgets, Voiceglow assistant. Okay, I'm Rosa from New Empire. You see how it looks completely different here. You can go ahead and edit the title. Rosa, your first. It's okay. And what I really love about Voiceglow is their ability to change themes. You can go purple, cyan. Not just that, if you want, you can go to dark mode as well. It looks really cool. If we hit virtual tour, previously it ended. If you try and test this on Voiceflow, it wouldn't display. But if you do this on Voiceglow, it renders perfectly. And for those who want to do a Calendly embed, you can do so here as well. You don't have to follow what I taught you in the first tutorial. All you need to do is, this is the embed, website embed. in the action body, instead of google.com, you will just copy it and paste. Let me show you real quick. Let me show two more. We can have this website embed. We can request handoff, which is we can ask the users can actually request for a human agent. That is really cool. And it is possible to edit all of those on Voiceflow itself, but they do require additional work. SaaS like these makes things so much easier. For Voiceglow example, if we hit scheduler viewing and the path name, I will just add an action, go to block, questions for the follow-up question. And in the action body, all you need to do is add a website, add your Calendly link. Copy that link, just paste it here, and you are done. You should see that in action. When I hit scheduler viewing, okay, let me publish that there. Once I publish the chatbot on Voiceflow, I will now hit scheduler viewing, and it opened my Calendly. There is a pop-up of Calendly. Perfect. Go to main menu. Let's see, what else did we add? No team members are available after timeout passed. Okay, yeah, this is, I won't be showing that here, but you get the idea. You have a lot of options that you can use with Voiceglow. If you want to play around with template, feel free to do so. It has different flows, the contact us, current projects, team, resources, scheduler viewing, and I have a question. This is a really good real estate template that you can use, and I strongly recommend that you check out these guys. You can also customize all of these buttons. There is ability to add dynamic carousels. Again, if you want a dedicated video, mention that as well. Widgets is really cool, but what you need to do is, if you do decide on the theme, the images, all of that stuff, what you need to do next is, there are unsaved changes, you need to save it. Once you save it, you need to deploy this widget from Voiceglow itself. You need to forget what I taught you in tutorial 1. If you deploy that code, only Voiceflow stuff will show up, and the theme or the video embeds, the file uploads, even though you copied and pasted that, all of that in your template or in your project, it wouldn't work. You have to copy this code. This is a pop-up, this is a iframe, this is a full HTML, wherever you want. If you wanted this in a dedicated chat box, there is a lot of customization that can be done. If I start showing everything, it would be too long. Like you've seen in this example, there are a lot of options, lot of features that Voiceglow offers. Dynamic buttons, dynamic carousels, file uploads, get browser Google form, video multi-select request handoff, set runtime, voice note, and website. We have seen few of these, and they are always updating their template. When they started out, they only had 2 to 3 of these features. In past 4 months or 5 months, they have changed this product close to 6-7 times now. They constantly updating new features, and I do recommend you check them out. If you want this template, again, will be posted in my Skool. So far, we learned about building a customer service chatbot with Calendly integration, and we deployed that customer service chatbot on a Webflow website. And second, we looked at a SaaS that can level up your agency, and we did that with a real estate template where you can change the colors, integrate your Calendly, embed videos. You can even let them upload files, all that good stuff. And then we went into e-commerce template. We explained step by step what it does. We integrated that e-commerce template with Zendesk and Airtable. With Zendesk, we try to answer the question with sentiment analysis. We recommend products. We try to answer the question with our extensive knowledge base. But if we fail to provide an answer, we will let them submit a ticket. And we also did order tracking using Airtable with the order number. And we also added the ability to post order comments to our Airtable database. And we haven't really went through the account confirmation aspect of things, but you can do so using the get method. We discussed how to achieve that functionality. If you did not manage to complete that step, let me know and I will do a Skool training. Now we are on to this hotel concierge assistant. This is something really great. I have been putting this aside for a while now, but I really want to start reaching out to hotels with this template. And I just want to show you the range of topics this chatbot has. If you look at the topics here: hotel, facilities, recommendations, room change, make a reservation, modify nights booked, parking, gym, meals menu, VIP offering, and the components. Wow. Bellboy, check-in, check-out, facilities, hotel, goodbye, housekeeping, meals time, room number, set booking. If I go through each of these flows, one day wouldn't be enough and one course is not enough. Let me quickly train the assistant and see how it performs in a test. Then that will give you a demo as to what kind of functionality this chatbot has. And we will deploy this on WhatsApp. Imagine your guest doesn't have to go in and really talk to a chatbot that is hosted on website. That's not a great experience. Imagine everything can be done on WhatsApp when the guest checks in, about to check out, when using the hotel. I think that would that's the next best thing to using an app, a dedicated app. Who am I speaking to? I'll say money. So let us first, they are capturing the username. I want to bypass that. Nice to meet you. Do you have a reservation? I would say yes. For booking number, I will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Okay. Perfect. I've located your booking. Depending on what you're looking for, I can likely point you in the right direction. Please select one of the options below. I will say hotel. I'm here to assist you with everything hotel related, such as changing your accommodation or modifying nights booked. Let's say room change and see. Now, see how it's saying could not handle step, redirecting to next step. This is where you can add custom actions to actually go in to the client's website, hotel website, and check to see if they have an availability. That way, this is a generic message that they added. You have a room on 5th floor available, but it's not really doing that in real time. We hope you enjoy this new room. Let me know if you'd like to keep searching using Hotel Concierge Assistant. If you wish, you can select any of the available options. Let's say facilities. Again, could not handle step. Just think about the custom actions you could add. With parking, everywhere it's custom actions. There are currently 4 parking spaces available. Yes. Once they say yes, imagine being redirected to a parking spot page where you can pay and a way to verify that Stripe transaction and parking space being booked. Imagine how valuable that would be for a business. And recommendations, I can provide you with some. What can I search for you? This is where I wanted to add a Google Maps API so I can search anything that I want. For example, restaurant. So there is a flow that has been pre-configured. Near Voiceflow Hotel, there are a variety of local culinary options. Since a hotel is a fixed entity, you can definitely program something, but if you want to search for events, if you want to search for tourist attractions, we need to keep the options open. Not just a restaurant, but anything that they want to search. If we go to hotel, nights booked modification of hotel reservation on. Do you want to add or reduce number of reduce? It is possible to reduce 3 nights from your reservation. Do you want to shorten your stay at Voiceflow Hotel? Let's say yes. Wow. If you are watching what's happening on screen, this is just so complex. There is a lot of customization that needs to be done, a lot of functionality to be added. But this is a great demo that you could show to your prospective clients. I'm not sure why Voiceflow removed this template from their offering. Every step of the way, they have prompts, they have notes written all over the template. If you go back, I have only showed you the main things. We haven't seen meals menu. We haven't seen the VIP offering, which is everything is a big flow in and of itself. The check-in, check-out aspects. And I have praised this template enough. What I've been trying to say is, if we manage to figure out this functionality, all the custom actions, this chatbot would be a great value for both the hotels and their clients as well. If you look at any of these topics or components, every component will have a custom action linked to it. And don't be intimidated by these custom actions. We haven't really talked about custom actions, but we have been using custom actions for a while now. If we look at our previous assistants, even in the first assistant, the Calendly embed that we did, even in the second example where we used Voiceglow to display iframe, the video, and embedding Calendly, embedding whole websites onto the chatbot, we are using custom actions. It's as simple as that, few lines of code. But it would be different for every business that you work with, every hotel that you work with, depending on the tech stack, their database. And so it varies case by case. For that reason, I won't be editing this template too much. Just one aspect that I really wanted to improve is the recommendation side of things. If you look at what's happening here, when we start the flow, the chatbot will wait for your input, whether it's restaurant, event, which is the most probable answers. For no match, it will actually reprompt you, what can we recommend you, restaurant and events. If you pick both of these, it will show you what's around the hotel. But what I want to do is maybe add a button saying find a place. You can search for pharmacies or places of attraction in and around hotel, not just restaurants and events. There is a lot we can do with a feature like that. The problem that I see right now is Google Maps embed is being rendered on a iframe, so it won't be able to display that in WhatsApp. We can show that on the front end, on the web chat, it is possible, but on WhatsApp, however, you will get a link and the description of the place. That is still valuable. I want to definitely try that and make this learning experience on how to embed Google Maps into your chatbots and how to deploy a chatbot on WhatsApp. And if you recall, when we try and test this chatbot earlier, it did not recognize my username. I wondered, there is no authentication mechanism here. It's not really checking against an Airtable of any sort, but for some reason it says I didn't get your name. But the issue that's causing is we are trying capturing the username. What I found to work best is capture entire user reply and save it into the variable that is username. We just need to use this, and if we run the test, nice to meet you, money, it goes forward. So that's a fix you can keep in mind when capturing responses and setting the variables. Now on to the recommendations. Let's modify this flow a little bit and we can go from there. First, when the flow starts, it says, what can we recommend you today? Instead of could not handle step redirecting, I think it's better if we just delete this block, and let's do this. Instead of no match, I want to add another button as well. Find a place. We will add a text block saying, I said, great, what would you like to find? As in which place. Again, you can come up with better alternatives, and we capture that. We will save that, we get to that. Now, the part where we integrate Google Maps API, I will provide all of these links in the description down below. We need Maps Embed API, and if you go to APIs and sort them by maps, you will see a Maps Embed API and Places API new. You'll need a Google Cloud this developer account. It's free to sign up for. We need both of those. I opened those two here, and we can, this is the Places API, and this is embed the map. First, what we need is this iframe. This is what helps render Google Maps on our chatbot. It's the same kind of iframe that we used in our first tutorial, customer service chatbot. What we did differently is we just used width 300 and height 300. I want to use that. So let's use a test block just as we did for the customer service chatbot, and we will just paste this. Instead of this whole URL, what I would like to do is add a URL. We haven't added URL as a variable just yet. I will do that now. Once we do that, you can see it is a variable, and I want to change the height and width to 300 as well, because I believe it's a really good size. Now we have seen how to embed a map on our chatbot. We did that using the iframe Maps Embed API. Now it's time to get places, and what we need here is the Places API. What it does is whatever you search for it will either give you a list. If we go through the various types that they offer, you can see there is nearby, place details, place photo, nearby search, text search, autocomplete. There are definitely a lot of options that you can go through, but for our example, we are using text search new. And for context, I have been following Voiceflow's tutorial on how to embed Google Map in your website AI assistant. I have seen comments that it's not working for some reason. I really wanted to try it out in this tutorial, so that would be a value add. If you have any questions, you can feel free to hop onto that video, watch it, join their Discord, ask any questions that they have, or join my Skool to know more. And I will also link some of these videos to in the description down below, where I find them really valuable. For example, how to get better responses, and other videos include building a function from scratch, vector databases, and I also wanted to link one more memory to knowledge base in Voiceflow and new and improved knowledge base step. This is really good to have. I didn't want to reproduce everything. The only reason that I've been doing this is there has been errors in the tutorial and I wanted to fix those. Now, without further ado, let's go to, okay, what text search is doing is you can either search a place, or since it's a text-based search, you can basically ask anything that you want. This is the example that they gave: pizza in New York, or shoe stores near Ottawa, pharmacy near Vancouver. Whatever you want, you can do it based on text. So for that reason, we are using this. And they also gave us how to do this API calls as well. If you see here, it's a post request. We have seen get requests in Airtable first part, and that's using the order number and tracking the order. And to add order comments, we used patch request. Now we are looking at post requests. They also mentioned how a text query should look like on the headers, the content type, and Google API key, and one more header, which is field mask, and then the URL itself for the post request. So what I would like to do now is copy all of these and go back to Voiceflow and paste each of these in the respective fields. I will bring out an API step. Maybe it's better, instead of last utterance, I will save this to a new variable saying find place, and we go to the API step and we want post request, paste the URL, and we have headers, which is content type, I believe. Let's go content type. So for API keys, you need to use API keys, and you need to go to the credentials page. This is the credential page. So I will quickly create a new project called Voiceflow. So you need to, if you're doing this first time in your account, you have to fill out the payment information as well. So once I set up my billing, I have my API key. You can save it to a variable saying API key. It's better if you save it to a variable saying API key and give it a default value and create a variable, so that way you don't have to keep it exposed. If you look at the headers, we need Google field max and the body in the raw format. Let's go to documentation. In the text search, you can see to retrieve all fields, we need to use star. This is the text query that we need to use in the body, text query and our variable. I will use star here for now. And then if we go to body, I will be using text query with find place, which is our variable here. We are capturing that. Okay, I have my API key here and find place is Indian restaurant in Vancouver. Generate. Success. Awesome. This is definitely a long list of results. I want to add a quick note here. If you go to the project that we created earlier, for me it's Voiceflow, make sure you have Places API enabled, because it gave me a 403 error earlier that I haven't enabled Places API. So that's one thing that might cause errors, which is not covered in the original tutorial. So keep that in mind. Now, if you go to text search documentation, if we scroll down, there is max result count. Where do I find it? Okay, max result count. It should be between 1 and 20. For testing purposes, I will say max count 3 in the beginning and see how many results I would get. But in the end, we only need 1 because that's easier for chatbot. If you want to do search instead, you can have multiple results. But since we are doing one place, I initially test out with 3, but I will change it to 1. Wow. Even for 3 results, do you see how much data we have gathered? We can render any of that in the front end if we want to. Now I just added quotes to max result count. Now let's go on to URL. Remember we added iframe earlier and we have this source equal to URL. Let me set the URL here. I'm naming it set URL. Apply to the URL, the variable that we have created earlier. Let's use that. We need to go to Maps Embed API and we need this URL, the one with the map mode, API key and parameters. We need to copy that, paste the URL here. Right now in the variables we have map mode, our API key and parameters. We already have our API key. We will just replace that now. And for parameters, we need to go back to the documentation. Map mode first. There is place, there is view, direction, street view, and search. Place is the one that we are going to use. So we need to replace a map mode with P, and Q is required. Q, okay. We need to use place and Q. And what about the parameters? These are the parameters. Q, center. Let's replace parameters with place ID. So based on the documentation, this is how we need to set this parameter. Q is equal to place ID and place ID in braces, which is the actual parameter. You need to append these. If we try to render with this URL, it wouldn't work. We need to append the API key and the place ID. Let me add each one of those so you can see. Okay, this is the final URL after I added all the plus signs append. But please make sure you change the map mode that I wrote here. You need to write place instead of map mode. Only then it would work. I have updated that in my Skool and the final template. So if you try to use map mode, it would not work. So next step is to capture response. To do that, we need to first send a request. You see how in the places there is ID, and this is where we get our place ID to render it on the map. So in the capture response, I will say response.places 0.id, and we need to save it as, I think we already have a place ID. Yeah, we do. Okay, place ID. Send request, generate, yeah, places, and the 0th place ID. The whole thing is called a response. So we are taking places, then ID from the response. Okay. I think we can go ahead and test it from here. Oh, we haven't trained. Okay, let me train the assistant first. Okay, it's done. Let me test it. I said barbecue restaurant in Vancouver. Okay, API call successfully triggered. I see a gray. Okay, it won't be rendered in the test of Voiceflow. If we can go to Voiceglow and test it over there, or you can directly deploy this on your front end and see if it works. So the test went well. So I thought, okay, we already know that iframe wouldn't be displayed on the Voiceflow test box, right? We need to test that on a website. Either it's web chat or we have a SaaS called Voiceglow. That's what I thought. To use it on Voiceglow, I need to first publish it. Now I know why Voiceflow has taken down this. If you looked at other assistants so far, usually publish button would be here and a run button would be over this side. I haven't even realized when I tried to publish it, even the export for production pop-up that I've been receiving is different. Publish this version to production and use it with our dialog manager API. Okay, when I hit publish, this is what I see. Error updating version. So basically this advanced chatbot that I've been raving about is a legacy version. Apparently, I believe that is the reason why they have taken it out. For example, you don't see this in the other assistants. If we go back and see, the publish button is here and the run button is here. And when you hit publish, it say publish this version to production and use it with your web chat. So that's what it usually says. So it was weird from the beginning, but even if you look at the assistant settings, it clearly shows the environments that it has been in production and now it's in development. I mean, the changes have not been deployed into the production yet. So that's how it works with the regular assistants. I didn't want to give up on this great template. So what I did was I created a new AI concierge for hotel, copy and paste everything to the new assistant and actually link all the intents, build all the intents. So see, for example, you have to select an intent here. So there is no match. We have to select no here. And for the component, this one. So we need to select anything else. I had to go through each of these step by step and make all of those changes. And I had to redo all the recommendations one. For example, instead of saving the maps API key, I am now setting apply to map API key and I have my key here. And I am passing that to set URL. this is as it is what we have seen earlier in that legacy chatbot. Once the call is successful and the place is successfully rendered, we will say done. Would you like to find a different place? And we loop it back to sure, what would you like to find? And if they fail, we say something went wrong, please try again, and maybe loop it back to the same, what would you like to find? Let me run this. I said Indian restaurant in Vancouver. API call successfully triggered, but I have been showing this. So let's head on over to Voiceglow, and we need to grab our API key here, copy API key, and make sure you publish the latest version. So I'm creating a new assistant, Voiceflow, and let's say Hotel Concierge. Let's say your personal AI assistant, and for the dialog key, I'm copying it. Let's save it. We can change the theme if you'd like. So once you do that, you can actually go to prototype and chat with that in a different window. Nice. A barbecue restaurant have been rendered on a map. Sure, okay. See how it's done. What would you like to? Would you like to find a different place? We need to give them a yes or no choice. So this is good. Let me go back and fix it right now. In the recommendations, we need to add a capture card to this. Buttons component. There is a goodbye component. We'll let them say goodbye, and if they say yes, however, we will take them to what would you like to find. This should work. Let me publish. So it's successfully published. So once the map is rendered, if we play from here, we'll usually see done. Would you like to find a different place? If we hit yes, we'll be taken to sure, what would you like to find. Pharmacy in Vancouver, API call successfully triggered. So you will see a map here. So there you have it. Now we have already published the latest version of this AI Concierge for hotel. Deploy that on WhatsApp is, if you go to channels here, you see a WhatsApp button. You can deploy your chatbot to WhatsApp or Discord for now through Voiceglow. Instagram, Telegram, Voice is coming soon. To do that, these are the steps that they list. You need to go to Meta Business Suite. I will provide all the links in the description below. You need a business page first. This is my business page account, and after that, once you have a business page, you need to go to a URL, which is developers.facebook.com/apps. All the URLs will be available down below. We will now create an app. Then you select other business, next, and the app name, I'm calling it hotel. You can leave the email as is. If you have a business page that is already linked or whatnot to a WhatsApp account, you can definitely try and do that. Since business portfolio is optional at this point, I won't bother linking it now. I can do it later. Click on WhatsApp setup, and portfolio, it had selected something by default. I will leave that as is. I will hit continue. It's just selecting a business portfolio. Okay, let's head to our Voiceglow and see what the steps are. We already created an app, and step 2 would be head to WhatsApp configuration webhook section, paste the following. Okay, we have the webhook URL, and go to WhatsApp configuration. Okay, callback URL. Let me edit all of these. Callback URL and verify token. Verify and save. Perfect. In order to finish this setup, you need to subscribe to messages. Make sure you do that in the webhook field. Let's go back to Voiceglow. Okay, step passed successfully. That's good. And step 3 would be WhatsApp access token. So this is the information that we need from WhatsApp. Now, in order to get this WhatsApp access token, we need to go to book.com and settings, system users. Now, I don't have any system users yet. If you do, you need to use that. I am creating one right now. I accept. I will now generate a new token for app hotel. Token expiry will select never. You need to select WhatsApp business management and WhatsApp business messaging and generate token. So this is the access token. Copy and save this token as it won't be stored in Facebook. To Voiceflow access token. Okay. So make sure you're in API setup. Now you need to copy your phone number ID. Phone number ID. WhatsApp business ID. WhatsApp business account ID. Let me add my own number here. Okay, I received a hello world. Let me Voiceglow, set test and save. So for some reason I had some errors. I did not, everything should have worked perfectly, but for some reason it didn't go through. I was researching online, I was watching videos provided by Voiceflow, going through all the steps. One step that I see is assign people. I am, just to be sure, I am assigning all of these full control to people under the app. I found out what's causing the issue when I was trying to deploy this chatbot on WhatsApp using another SaaS called Flowbridge AI. There are some wonderful tutorials on YouTube that you could follow. When I was doing this Flowbridge tutorial, I was prompted to connect my own WhatsApp number instead of using the test number. For some reason, it is not allowing me to use the test number for this process. For that reason, I was not able to move forward. But the steps that I showed you in video works well. And if the business page that you have has already, if it already has a WhatsApp number, which most businesses do, then it will work fine. The only reason that it haven't worked for this account is I didn't want to delete the old account and create a new one from scratch. And if you go online, you can find a number of tutorials. This tutorial is using ManyChat, and this tutorial is using Flowbridge, and Flowbridge themselves have made a video, and this is using the actual native Voiceflow to WhatsApp integration, even though it's a bit complex. And Voiceglow has a tutorial, and there is a FlowBridge tutorial as well. So there are a lot of resources. I didn't want to make this a longer tutorial than it needs to be. And I also wanted to provide a bit of clarification on the AI Concierge chatbot that we talked about. The place to publish this is you don't have to deploy this from Voiceglow for it to be able to work on recommendations. The maps will be rendered if you just deploy this on a website. In the same way, in the first tutorial, if you saw that, I was using Calendly embed on my website and it worked fine. You just have to deploy it on the website, the web chat, then it would work. If you want to deploy this on a WhatsApp, as of now, they are not really displaying these results, displaying these iframes and embeds, but they might in future. Now you will get a link, you get to click it, and it's still a great functionality to have. For the next steps, I strongly recommend you check out the Voiceflow YouTube channel and join their Discord for any kind of help that you want, and join my Skool AI agency incubator for all the templates and all the resources. And if you have any questions regarding this tutorial, this course, feel free to drop in, ask any question that you have. You will find these resources once you are in. It would be one of the top posts here. If you don't see it, just click on YouTube resources and will likely be the first one that you see, and depending on when you join. And that concludes our course today, and I'll see you in the next one.